Hello. Let us today discuss about the muscles of second layer of the sole. The second layer of the sole contains two extrinsic muscles in the form of flexor hallucis longus and flexor digitorum longus, and two intrinsic muscles which are flexor digitorum accessorius and four lumbricals. So, the second layer of the sole contains two extrinsic muscles which are flexor hallucis longus and flexor digitorum longus. These are the muscles of the back or posterior compartment or flexor compartment of the leg being supplied by the tibial nerve, and they get inserted into the sole by forming the muscles of the second layer. And the intrinsic muscles which are confined only to the region of the sole are flexor digitorum accessorius and four lumbricals. So let us see the attachments of all these muscles here. Before that, if you see here in this model, this is plantar aponeurosis. I have taken it out. So these are the muscles of the first layer of the sole. From medial side, this is abductor hallucis, this is flexor digitorum brevis, and this is abductor digiti minimi. So if I remove these muscles of first layer, now you are seeing the second layer muscles. In the second layer muscles, so this one is the flexor hallucis longus, an extrinsic muscle coming from the back of the leg, and this is flexor digitorum longus. This is flexor hallucis longus and flexor digitorum longus, this one. And we have flexor digitorum accessorius. This is the flexor digitorum accessorius. And we find in between these flexor digitorum longus tendons, we find four lumbricals. I'll talk about the attachments of these four muscles now. Okay? So, to start with the attachments, I am going with the diagram of undersurface of the foot. So this is calcaneum. Okay, this is calcaneum. This is talus. And this is navicular. This one is cuboid. This is medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform, and lateral cuneiform bones, followed by the metatarsals 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th, and their respective phalanges, proximal and distal phalanx, proximal, middle and distal phalanx of the lateral four toes here. Okay. So to start with the first muscle, which is the flexor hallucis longus. Flexor hallucis longus takes origin from the posterior surface of the fibula behind the medial crest. It descends downwards under cover of flexor retinaculum, lie under cover of abductor hallucis, and descends downwards along the medial aspect of the sole to be ending finally into the plantar aspect of the base of the distal phalanx of the great toe. Is it clear? So it is taking origin from the fibula, it enters the sole under cover of the flexor retinaculum, being attached to the under cover of flexor retinaculum, under cover of abductor hallucis muscle, descends downwards along the medial aspect, where it is crossed over by tendon of flexor digitorum longus. During this crossing over of this flexor digitorum, this is flexor digitorum longus tendon, which crosses this flexor hallucis longus from medial to lateral side. During this crossover, some tendinous fibers of flexor hallucis longus is being transferred to the flexor digitorum longus concerned for the second and the third digit. Okay. And finally, this flexor hallucis longus is inserted onto the plantar surface of the base of the distal phalanx of the great toe. Name itself is saying it is hallucis and longus. Hallucis means it has to reach to the great toe. Longus means it should go to the distal phalanx. Okay. Now the second muscle here is flexor digitorum longus, which takes origin from the tibia, from the posterior surface of the tibia. This also passes under cover of the flexor retinaculum, under cover of abductor hallucis. It crosses from medial to lateral side, it crosses the flexor hallucis longus muscle, and this muscle splits into 4 tendons. This muscle splits into 4 tendons, and each tendon descends downwards to be inserted onto the plantar aspect of base of distal phalanx of lateral 4 toes. Is it clear now? So this is flexor digitorum longus muscle. It arises from tibia. It descends downwards, forming a muscle of the posterior compartment of the leg or flexor compartment of the leg, being supplied by tibial nerve. On reaching the sole, it lies under cover of flexor retinaculum, crosses the flexor hallucis longus, divides into 4 digital slips, and each digital slip is inserted into the plantar aspect of the base of the distal phalanx of lateral 4 toes. Is it clear now? Both these muscles are supplied by the tibial nerve. If you see the actions, both the muscles causes plantar flexion of the foot at the ankle joint. This maintains the flexor hallucis longus, maintains the medial longitudinal arch of the foot, and the medial half of this flexor digitorum longus also maintains the medial longitudinal arch of the foot, and it causes plantar flexion of the distal phalanx of all the digits. Both these muscles together, it also causes plantar flexion of the digits. It causes plantar flexion at the ankle joint. It maintains the medial longitudinal arch of the foot and being supplied by the tibial nerve. This is about the 2 extrinsic muscles. Now coming to the 2 intrinsic muscles, the first one, flexor digitorum accessorius. So it is an accessory muscle consisting of 2 heads, medial head and lateral head. Medial head takes origin from the medial tubercle of calcaneum. So this is a medial head which takes origin from the medial tubercle of calcaneum. It is fleshy. And it also takes origin from the medial surface of the calcaneum, and the lateral head is tendinous. Lateral head is tendinous like this. This is a lateral head which is tendinous, which takes origin from the lateral tubercle of the calcaneum. Both these heads fuse with each other, and the common fusion is inserted onto the medial aspect of this flexor digitorum longus tendon. After the fusion, both end in or they are inserted along the medial aspect of the flexor digitorum. This is flexor digitorum longus tendon. Between these two heads, it encloses a triangular gap. This is a triangular gap you can see in between the two heads, which transmits long plantar ligament. And this muscle is supplied by the medial plantar nerve. Action of this muscle is it regulates the diagonal pull of flexor digitorum longus. It controls and it regulates the diagonal pull of this flexor digitorum longus and effectively causes the plantar flexion of the toes at any given or plantar flexion of the ankle joint at any given position of the ankle. So it regulates this muscle, flexor digitorum accessorius, controls the diagonal pull of this flexor digitorum longus. Now the last muscle we are saying, that is the 4 lumbrical muscles. Each lumbrical muscle, first lumbrical muscle takes origin from the medial side of the first tendon of flexor digitorum longus, like this. This is the first lumbrical muscle which is taking origin from the medial side of the first digit of flexor digitorum longus. It is a unipinnate muscle. And the remaining 3 muscles are bipinnate muscle, which takes origin from the adjacent sides of the remaining tendons, like. So this is second muscle, second lumbrical, which is a bipinnate muscle, which is taking origin from the adjacent sides of the tendons of first and second tendon of flexor digitorum longus. Similarly, this one, which takes origin from the adjacent sides of tendons of flexor digitorum longus concerned with the second and the third digit. This is third lumbrical, and finally this one, the fourth lumbrical. Okay. All these lumbricals, the first lumbrical being a unipinnate, the second, third and fourth being a bipinnate muscle, proceeds forwards to reach the medial aspect of the proximal phalanx of the concerned digit, where it blends with the dorsal digital expansion there, to reach onto the dorsal surface, and ends by inserting into the dorsal base of the dorsal aspect of the middle and terminal phalanx of the lateral 4 toes. It is finally inserted into the base of middle and terminal phalanx on the dorsal side after forming the dorsal digital expansion of the lateral 4 toes. So this is about the lumbrical muscles. The first lumbrical is supplied by the medial plantar nerve, and the remaining 3 lumbricals are supplied by the lateral plantar nerve. And the actions of the lumbrical muscles are: it causes plantar flexion at the metatarsophalangeal joint. At the metatarsophalangeal joint, it causes plantar flexion. And it causes dorsiflexion at the interphalangeal joints. So plantar flexion at metatarsophalangeal joint, dorsiflexion at interphalangeal joints is the feature or is the action of all these lumbrical muscles. So this is all about the muscles of the second layer of the sole. Thank you.